can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life. And I see so many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences. And fear is by design, it's violent. But I also acknowledge that many people don't have the opportunity to speak. So I do feel fortunate. And it's the women who have had the ability to use their voice that's kept me strong and you know, helped me in my belief and my fight for the world to be safer for women and girls.
This whole case been nothing but a messy lil spin game. It's flip-flopping from one weak excuse to the next, one half-baked theory after another, just doing the absolute most to dodge accountability, all while trying to rock the victim cape. And baby, that flip got real obvious in a fresh clapback filing to Perez Hilton's motion for a protective order. Now Perez wasn't playing. He went straight to the court like, "Judge, I need y'all to step in," saying Blake Lively got no business throwing out subpoenas left and right unless the court greenlights it first. He called it out for what it was: bully tactics, intimidation, harassment, all that. And unlike the rest who begged for protection, this judge said, "Okay," stamped it official, and told Blake she had till yesterday to speak up. Now Perez already got up on his platform and gave a whole dramatic reading of that document, so I ain't finna read the whole thing either. But let's keep it 100. Perez is denying every single messy accusation they threw at him in them papers. Basically, they trying to paint him like he's some bought and paid for mouthpiece, working behind the scenes for Wayfarer, like he out here planting stories, stirring the pot, and getting checks for it. Paid, unpaid, direct, indirect. Sis trying to argue there's some secret deal going on between him and Wayfarer, saying he's out here twisting the socials and pushing lies about her name. Now look, Perez might not be everybody's cup of tea, I get it. He messy, but he's always been cool with me. Always respectful, always kind. And truth be told, the man do got jokes that make me cackle. He give real old school vibes, like back when the tabloids used to throw shade with slick lil nicknames and them shady one-liners that had folks gagging. Kinda like them throwback news anchors who always had a punchline ready. That's Perez. He blend in the facts with a whole lot of flavor. His videos got that mix, the actual tea, plus his spicy 2 cents, and a lil razzle-dazzle to keep it cute. And let's be real, that's the formula. Y'all don't just pull up for cold hard facts. Y'all want the drama, the giggles, the whole show. Now sis, on the other hand, she done switched her storyline again. It ain't about denying the smear campaign anymore, nah. Now she hollerin' that she bein' robbed of discovery cause folks claiming privilege left and right or suddenly got amnesia and deleted the receipts. Or folks conveniently misplaced the tea, like the idea that maybe the evidence just ain't there. That's never even on the table. Ain't no world where she just says, "Hey, maybe I got it wrong." Nope. It's always some tale about how they blocking her from getting the goods she need to prove her case. And when I peeped that part, I damn near rolled my eyes into next week, but honestly, why am I even surprised? Now, since Wayfarer is giving her the cold shoulder on them docs, saying they're protected by privilege, sis decided to get slick. She spotted one name on a group text that's in that privilege log, found out this woman lives in Texas, and now she rolling up on her. She trying to say this lady got no right to claim privilege, so she wanna snatch them receipts from her instead. Still chasing them records, even after Liner told her no. Cause truth be told, they don't have the docs. Wayfarer told her to fall back cause all that was wrapped up in legal strategy, straight lawyer talk. But sis ain't letting it go. She found one random person in that email chain, decided, this one ain't got no lawyer reppin' them, and boom. Now she trying to say the convo wasn't protected, so she want them receipts from that person instead. Like, girl, you really out here digging through legal hay trying to snatch one little thread and call it a breakthrough. But listen, that's a whole saga by itself. What I really want to get into is what went down with Perez, cause baby, I spotted a little detail yesterday that's too good not to share. Sis is pressed over the titles and nicknames Perez be using. Some of y'all be saying the same names, even some content creators out here with the zingers. Me? I ain't never been good with nicknames. But she mad cause he called her things like Blackface Blake. And let's not forget, she the one who admitted to that mess. Lion Lively? Yep, she owned up to that too. Clue Ku Klux Khaleesi? Now that one caught me off guard. I ain't even heard him drop that one. Litigious lively? That's just parody, baby. It's no different than folks clowning about the nice pool. Like, can we please remind folks you can't sue somebody just because your feelings got hurt? And as for his headlines? Whew, Perez be going in. Blake Lively's non-existent smear campaign falls apart. Blake Lively is so unethical. Blake Lively the bully. Justin Baldoni exposes new Blake Lively lies. I mean, savage. Then you got Don't Believe the Blake Lively Lies. Justin had nothing to do with Jenny's complaint. Blake lied. And Blake trying to silence Justin. He's scared. But listen, most of that ain't just drama. He pulling it straight from the docs. His title's spicy, yeah, but they really not that far from what he be actually spilling in his vids. But circling back to how sis is deeply triggered by them Perez titles, girl, it's given pressed. So much so that she flipped his motion for a protective order into a whole cross motion to compel, even though he filed that motion to quash in Nevada. Now she out here sidestepping the Nevada courts and trying to force things in New York, even though that subpoena clearly says the tea gotta be spilled in Nevada. And instead of really addressing the issue of the protective order, like head on, she just kinda slides past it. Most of her energy is spent pushing that motion to compel. But here's where it gets wild. On page 15, she calls out something Perez actually dropped in his motion. A screenshot of one of my Instagram posts. Yup, she claiming that Hilton's argument about the subpoena being too much of a burden just ain't enough to prove that it's out of line. The only evidence Perez got? A lil unverified screenshot of somebody else's social post saying they spent over $5,000 on legal fees. That ain't solid proof, boo. That ain't even relevant to whether Blake did something shady. The court shouldn't have to babysit Blake and force her to get permission before sending subpoenas to folks, 'cause, according to her, there's zero evidence she did it dirty. But let's talk about Van Zandt. Did we mention the Van Zandt sham? Baby, this right here is the blueprint. This the exact reason she making those moves moot, right? What I said last week still stands. She agreeing to pull the subpoenas because if she takes that L and one gets quashed, it straight up looks like she out here abusing the system. And let's be clear, sis already had some quashed. The ones to the phone companies, too wide, too nosy, and definitely crossing some privacy lines. She already got that subpoena to liner tossed out. Judge shut that down last week. Or wait, maybe it was earlier this week. Either way, he shut down most of Blake's subpoena to Brian Friedman's office too. Let's be real. She would have caught more L's if she ain't start withdrawing those subpoenas ahead of time. So nah, it ain't fair to say there's no evidence she be serving these subpoenas wrong. And back to that tired little screenshot. Perez mentioning someone saying they dropped over $5,000 in legal bills? The footnote trying to clean it up says, basically, yeah, Blake's sending subpoenas trying to find ties between Wayfarer and all the content spread on YouTube and X. And yeah, she pulled some back after talking it out or seeing the motions. And they trying to say that's not harassment? Girl, okay. And side note, I did get hit with a bill today. I can't drop all the receipts because it's wrapped up in attorney-client privilege, but what I can tell you is this. I got hit with a bill today, totaling $5,580. And guess what the heading said? Blake Lively subpoena. Yup. In just 2 weeks, I ran up damn near $5,600 messing with Ms. Lively and her crew. A chunk of that was going back and forth with her legal squad, who, by the way, swore up and down I was part of some smear campaign. Told us straight up they knew I was being paid by Baldoni and weren't gonna back down. That was day one. But then folks started dropping documents saying we weren't connected, and my legal team came through like, hold up, she ain't on nobody's payroll. She got nothing to give y'all. She don't owe y'all a thing. She's an independent journalist. And magically, boom, they pulled back. But mind you, through all that, they never once pointed to a single post or statement I made. Normally, if someone hit you with a cease and desist or subpoena, they be specific. Name the post. Name the quote. Something.
This film is a bit darker in nature. How was it getting in touch with your darker side?
It was just more like all the facades that I put up, I just had let go, so you guys got to see the real me. I'm just a dark, horrible person, and I just got to let my flag fly. So there you go, this is the real me.
They're riding for content creators and clapping back at Blake Lively and all them wild accusations she's tossing around about folks online. them subpoenas, and how Melissa Nathan supposedly out here leading some secret, messy smear campaign against her. In a letter sent to the judge today, responding to Miss Blake's Friday motion to compel, she basically crying foul saying creators getting served, now making her look like the villain, and the internet heat is real. And she blaming Melissa for it just cause she marked one lil doc as AEO. Now she trying to pin the whole public dragging on Melissa Nathan. Sound familiar, don't it? So here's what he clapped back with, standing tall for us and Melissa. In the motion, she swears up and down that the Wayfarer crew running some shady smear job, twisting the media game across the globe with secret sources just to make her look like the bad guy, but calling it untraceable.
Like if I was walking with my husband late at night and I see a shadowy figure coming towards us and it's dark, I would normally go on the other side of him, you know, just to, it's your instinct to try to have your protector protect you. We're walking with a stroller. I don't know where we're walking with strollers with shadowy figures, but just to give you, know, the emotional parallel, now I go and I stand in front and go towards the figure. It's like, it's very primal, that mama bear thing.
Girl, stop. That don't even add up, because Blake know exactly which stories and writers got her pressed in the first place, but also blows up any reason she got for abusing this court and trying to twist them federal rules just to chase after what she call untraceable. And whew, ain't that the truth? Blake Lively knows exactly who she gunning for. She knows who she trying to drag through them subpoenas. This whole thing, just some wild, messy scheme to dodge the heat she knows she brought on herself. And now she claiming Tag might have hid their tracks back when the drama popped off on August 24th? Baby, that's a confession. That after months of digging, Blake done got thousands of pages of receipts, hit folks with subpoenas left and right, and still ain't got a shred of proof that the Wayfarer crew ran any kind of smear game. All they did in August 2024 was stand 10 toes down and protect their name, like anybody would when dragged in public.
Well, there were a lot of conversations early on before we cast. Honestly, before we even were at Sony, it was supposed to be a really small indie movie at Wayfarer, and then Sony got involved later. Blake got cast, and it snowballed from there. But we had a lot of conversations about aging the roles up a little bit.
Then they pulled up Judge Lyman's ruling, saying a company speaking up for itself ain't no Title VII retaliation. It ain't no adverse employment action. Plus, Tag ain't even on the scene till early August, so sis trying to say they turned the world on her in under 2 weeks? Girl, be for real. Not wanting to face the fact that the internet dragged Lively all on their own, her motion straight up tries to throw Tag under the bus for her crumbling rep, with zero proof to back it up. She out here saying folks named in them interrogatory responses been talking reckless about her and this whole lawsuit, like Tag and the Wayfarer squad told them to do it. But what she don't mention is how wide them interrogatories really go. They ask for names of anybody Tag so much as emailed about Blake, her claims, or this court mess since May 24th. That's why them responses just list folks Tag sent clean, lawyer-approved quotes to when the press came knocking.
A character that is experiencing domestic abuse, and did being a mum to daughters play into that decision or impact your decision to take on the role?
I didn't look at any one thing in her life because I think she's so much more than this thing that happened to her. And yes, it can change the course of her life, but it doesn't define her. She defines herself. And that to me is really, really beautiful. She's not a victim and she's not a survivor. Well, she may be a victim and she may be a survivor. She's also multitudes.
Just like Blake's own team been doing, they issued statements tied to legal updates. And now she mad cause Melissa Nathan, who folks asking for comments out here speaking? Sis swear that's somehow part of this untraceable smear plot. But them interrogatory responses ain't saying nothing like what she trying to spin. They don't admit Tag hit up folks to drag her name like she out here hollering. Ain't no secret scheme, no shady whispers. Truth is, Tag ain't said boo to no content creators about this mess or them claims until 2025 when folks came asking. What did I tell you? Whole thing playing out just like we knew it would. I knew it was about them requests for comment. I knew it because a bunch of us been out here asking for the same thing. Now her motion out here claiming that the interrogatory answers, them confidentiality labels, and that AEO stamp are messing with folks. Saying content creators caught up in Discovery already got her looking like the bad guy, and that we trying to act like her digging for info is the same as some smear job. Whew! That's just a long-winded way of saying Blake Lively blaming Tag for the internet going in on her lately. This whole accusation? Baby, it's straight up nonsense. Pure foolishness. Ain't nobody talking about Tag. We just clapping back cause Blake came for us with subpoenas when she know good and well we ain't done a damn thing wrong. If she ain't want the smoke, she shouldn't have come knockin', 'cause she knows asking somebody for a quote ain't the same as dragging their name. Let's start there. Plus, them interrogatory responses? Right now, they only for the lawyer's eyes anyway.
You seem like you're in love with him, but you love Ryle. And I was like, no, I also love Ryle, but like, I really love Atlas. He's like, you love Ryle. And I was like, wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what's happening? But you love Ryle. I do, but like, she's conflicted. Totally. And that was always an interesting dynamic when you have somebody who's playing the character also being the one like looking at the movie. So we were always like, are we too connected? Are we too vibing? Yeah. But she loves Ryle. He's the best. I mean, she loves Atlas. She also loves Ryle. But she loves Atlas and young Lily.
Just like Blake's own team been doing, they issued statements tied to legal updates. And now she mad because Melissa Nathan, who folks asking for comments, out here speaking. Sis swear that's somehow part of this untraceable smear plot. But them interrogatory responses ain't saying nothing like what she trying to spin. They don't admit Tag hit up folks to drag her name, like she out here hollerin'. Ain't no secret scheme, no shady whispers. Truth is, Tag ain't said boo to no content creators about this mess or them claims until 2025 when folks came asking. What did I tell you? Whole thing playing out just like we knew it would. I knew it was about them requests for comment. I knew it, because a bunch of us been out here asking for the same thing. Now her motion out here claiming that the interrogatory answers, them confidentiality labels, and that AEO stamp are messing with folks, saying content creators caught up in discovery already got her looking like the bad guy, and that we trying to act like her digging for info is the same as some smear job. Phew. That's just a long-winded way of saying Blake Lively blaming Tag for the internet going in on her lately. This whole accusation? Baby, it's straight up nonsense. Pure foolishness. Ain't nobody talking about Tag. We just clapping back cause Blake came for us with subpoenas when she know good and well we ain't done a damn thing wrong. If she ain't want the smoke, she shouldn't have come knocking, cause she knows asking somebody for a quote ain't the same as dragging their name. Let's start there. Plus, them interrogatory responses? Right now, they only for the lawyer's eyes anyway.
Blake's whole case tossed out like last week's leftovers. And when the judge dropped that gavel, he made it crystal clear. Sis can only bring that mess back to New York if, and that's a big if, she can prove he aimed his shady moves at New York, that it hit her directly and actually did her dirty there. But baby, she ain't got the receipts. Judge even said she could try her luck in another spot, like Texas. But I already told y'all, Texas ain't no cakewalk. She got roadblocks down there too, especially if she want to spin the block and hit him with a countersuit. It's giving legal gymnastics. And look, I had to rewind a bit, because when me and the legal crew were deep in this whole creator drama, things got real complicated, real quick. It was real obvious to me that her team is trying to moonwalk away from this whole Jed mess. Now they talking about, oh no, it wasn't just Jed in the mix. Everybody had their hands in that smear campaign. Like, they really trying to water down his role now, acting like he wasn't front and center the way she originally said he was. And the moment I peeped that switch up, I was like, she ain't refiling against him. Just a gut feeling, okay? And I told y'all that yesterday. But then I went back and looked at her first notice to him, when she was trying to drag him into that deposition. And baby, I caught something in that paperwork that's major. And get this, I also found a doc that just got unsealed, like yesterday. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you're feeling the vibe, hit that like button. And if you're new to the fam, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when we drop the latest and greatest. Thanks for tuning in.